at the end of the day, your brand should be the one selling yourself. You know, your brand should speak for yourself. What is up, guys, and thank you for tuning into the Mindset Podcast. My name is Gabriel, and I'm here with my good friend Anthony, and today we're going to be talking about personal brand. Be the brand. In 21st century, it's super important to talk about this because your personal brand is, at the end of the day, is everything. You know, it's your reputation, it's what you are, it's what you carry, how you portray yourself, and it's such an important topic just to talk about and give tips. So we really want to give some practical tips to our audience today about improving your personal brand, how to create a personal brand. If you have no idea what that is, that's completely okay. But with that being said, Anthony, what are some big tips that you can give our audience?
Yeah, man, absolutely. Like you said, personal brand nowadays is super important, especially with technology. Everybody's exposed. Everybody knows about you, who you are. So it's important that you stay consistent with what you want people to know you as and your reputation to match up with it, right? So I think the biggest tip that I can give on creating a good personal brand is that you need to visualize it. Well, how do you visualize it? You need to write it down. You have to put it concrete, right? Because I could think about the things I want people to know me as in my mind, but then that's going to go away in a couple minutes.
Exactly.
So to actually have an impact and be effective, you need to write these words down. So my tip is write down 3 or 4 words that you want people to know you as or think about you. You write these words down. So what I started doing is I created 3 words, and then this is personal for everybody. Everybody can make up their own, but for me, it was hardworking, family man, and determined, driven. Those are the 3 words that I want people to know me as. When my name comes up in a room, that's instantly what people should think about. So I write down those 3 words on a sticky note, and I put it in my bathroom mirror. That way, because I'm always in the morning, you brush your teeth, you're looking at yourself in the mirror, and those 3 words are there to remind me that is my goal for that day. Yeah. For those 3 words to represent me, right? That's good. So I think that's the best way to do it. You have to actually physically see it. Yeah. You have to see it, but you can't just think about it.
Yeah, once you think about it and once you see it and once you write it down and you proclaim it, it becomes that much easier to comprehend and understand each day. And I like what you said, because at the end of the day, your brand should be the one selling yourself. You know, your brand should speak for yourself. Once you walk into a room, like you said, everyone that's in that room, based on whether it's social media, whether it's the way you portray yourself, they should be able to see what those 3 words are off the bat. You know, but just by the way you're speaking, by the way you're handling yourself, and that's super important, you know. And especially when it comes down to personal brand, I know we talk a lot about social media and everything and technology, but I feel like today's society has this big misconception, especially with the whole influencer thing going on. Personal brand isn't only on social media. You know, it has to be parallel between your family, your friends, your coworkers, where you are in the workforce, the way you carry yourself and the way you treat people too, because you can be one person on social media and you could be a whole other person in person, you know? So I think it's super important that we live, you know, we walk the talk, you know, we practice what we preach, because a lot of times, again, we'll be one person on social media posting all these bikini pics, this and that, but then when we go to an interview, we're wondering why we didn't get the job, because unfortunately a lot of times these employers, they're looking at your personal brand nowadays. Obviously, your resume is still important, but your personal brand will speak for yourself and what you're about.
Exactly, and I think 2 things to keep in mind when we're talking about personal brand is you need to be authentic. You need, basically what you said, you need to be yourself. You can't be two-faced, be one way on social media and then be another way when you're with family and friends and coworkers, right? And also you have to be self-aware. What really are those 3 words that you want people to know you as? Those 3 words have to align with what you're posting, with how you carry yourself, with your attitude, right? It's fine. A lot of us have bad days, or, you know, we've had a rough day, but you have to leave all that stress, all that anxiety, all that negativity in your car before you get down and go to school or go to work, because it's like poison. It's poison. That the negativity that you bring into a room, it affects everybody.
It's contagious.
It's contagious, right? So you really, and we're human. We have those issues, but you got to leave that behind, right? What people remember the most is how you treat them, how you interact with them. So we got to make an emphasis there to create your personal brand.
Yeah, engagement is everything. I feel like, especially a lot, talking back on social media, we're always focused on the subscribers, on the followers, everything. But especially in the marketing world where I come from, what's so important about social media is the engagement. You know, everyone can have 10,000 followers, but if you're having 2 likes, 3 comments, what are those 10,000 followers to you? That's basically what you're saying. You know, you can't have all this this talk and then, you know, not have the background to back it up. You know, so I feel like it's super important, especially when it comes to personal brands. I feel like having a clear message and being able to communicate that message to your audience is the number one thing. Because if your message is getting confused and, you know, is not clear to who you're trying to portray it to, your personal brand will be all over the place.
And look, like I said in the beginning, nowadays you're exposed. Like there's no hiding with technology now, with social media, with people with cameras everywhere. You can't hide who you really are. Like eventually it's gonna come out.
Exactly.
Eventually the things that you're hiding will come out, and people will actually know the true you. So it's important that you set yourself up for success. Look back at your Instagram, at your social media right now, and see, do those pictures of me doing X, Y, and Z reflect how I want people to think about me? If the answer is no, then you see that it's not balanced correctly. There's something wrong there, right? So you should change that.
Yeah, and I'm gonna give you guys a real practical example. About 2-3 years ago, I started my first business, which is a clothing line, like some of you may know, and it was really fun. You know, I made some money, whatever. But one of the biggest things that really I had to get over was I just kind of made shirts, I made designs, and I just started selling them. You know, but if you look at the most successful businesses today, the most successful clothing lines today, Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, all these different brands, they all have a message behind their clothing. Like every product has a message behind it, you know, your why. Especially when it comes to personal brand, it's the same thing. You know, the reason why my business didn't last very long because I didn't really have a brand behind it. I just kind of started printing shirts and I just started selling them left and right. You know, but once you have a brand, once you have a message behind what you're trying to convey, your brand will last so much longer.
Yeah, people buy into brands. People buy into messages. You know, people don't buy things just to buy them. Exactly. There has to be a deeper meaning behind that product. And that's the best way, you know, for our business people, our viewers, that's the best way to sell anything. You have to have a brand, something that you stand for, that people admire. That's the best way to sell anything. I can give you a perfect example. The other day, I went to Dairy Queen, and it was probably 9:30, and they closed at 10.
Oh man.
Yeah. But I was hungry. I wanted an ice cream, and I walk in there because they have on the outside like a propaganda for like an Oreo shake.
Oh man.
So I was like, damn, that looks
Oreo's
good. Let me get one of those. I walk in there, and I'm like, oh, let me get an Oreo shake, and they said, oh, sorry, we don't have it right now. I'm like, what do you mean you don't have an Oreo shake? I mean, it's outside. You guys are advertising it. It's 9:45, probably 9:30, 9:45. And like, yeah, no, we don't have it right now. I'm like, what do you mean you don't have it? And the lady, she says to me, well, we usually close it half an hour before we close, because if we close the ice cream machine at 10, then we have to go home like 10:30. So basically what they did is that they shut down their machines a half an hour before they close. That way they can go to sleep or get out of work. You know, personal brand. Yeah. Personal brand, like you have to do everything with excellence. You can't half-ass things around here. Yeah. People catch it, people pick it up like quick.
Exactly.
Yeah, and especially so what from my perspective, right? You talked about from your perspective in marketing, my perspective being in the real estate world and being with the realtors here in the Valenzuela group, we emphasize in our company to create a personal brand. Because think about it, people who want to buy homes or sell homes, they're looking for a realtor that knows what they're doing, that looks presentable, that looks professional, right? So what do we tell realtors? Okay, try to be that then. Try to look professional on your social medias. Don't post a picture of you getting drunk or of, I don't know, too much family stuff, because people don't want to see that. People want to see that you're professional. So what should you post? Post pictures of you at showings. Post pictures of you working here in the office, on phone calls. That's what people like to see. So you have to find your niche too. Yeah. You have to see who are you targeting?
Who's your audience?
Who's your audience, right? In the case of the realtors here in our company, their audience are customers, people like us, young people, old people. It depends. But you have to know who you're trying to target, and in general, you want to have a good social media. And like we said in the beginning, it's not just social media, it's how you carry yourself too. Yeah. We actually did a training with our realtors the other day where we told them, okay, from now on, you guys have to write 3 words that when you pick up the phone, no matter what time, no matter what day, those 3 words reflect how your tone, how you your approach, right? Because it could be like a Saturday night, and you could be like, hello, like you don't really want to answer it, but you need to know that you're on the clock 24/7.
Yeah.
Customers can call you at any time.
Mm-hmm.
So we're emphasizing you need to be like very energetic, very welcoming. That's the tone that you need to have when you pick up the phone moving forward.
Yeah, I like that you brought up the realtors, because that's a perfect example of having a personal brand in the 21st century. Because for a lot of people, I mean, especially in the real estate world, you're basically an independent contractor.
Yeah.
You know, you're an entrepreneur, you're working for yourself. Like, you are the brand, like you are your business. You know, you don't have a logo behind it. I mean, you might have a logo, but like you need to be the one representing yourself, you know, because that's the first person that your customers, your buyers will see, you know. So I think that's a super perfect example too, especially for the realtors out there. If you didn't take those tips and put them into action, then you might be doing something wrong. But again, when it comes to social media and technology and just carrying yourself and being parallel or across all boards and checking off all the, you know, crossing your T's and dotting your I's, that's exactly what it needs to be. Personal brand is everything, especially in the 21st century. And I guess the closing message is just to be authentic. You know, be yourself. You can put all these things into action, but if you're not yourself by doing it, there's only one person that can do you, and that's you. You know, you can't try to be someone else. You can't try to be this famous person. You can't try to be this well-known realtor, because that's not you. You need to be authentic to yourself, and you need to portray yourself in the best way you can in your own way.